crud. Hold on, because I have to post this on Discord. Hello everyone, this is going to be part 6 of Fire Emblem Path of Radiance on the Nintendo Gamecube. I hope you enjoy. And there we go. I was just about to start and then my cat decided to go outside, so I had to very quickly, after starting, stop again. But now I'm back and I should be in peace for the rest of the evening. For the rest of the stream, anyway. Let's get started. So I did plan out my my units that I want to use, etc. Normally, you would want to speak with Nesala so that he retreats from the field of battle. You would want to have either Ulki and Janaf and Rayson. But I'm gonna try to defeat him instead. I gave it a try last night off stream and I could do it, so I think that this should be alright. Although I was a bit lucky, admittedly. But we'll see how it goes here, I suppose. Sir, the Crimean army has arrived. I hope they are prepared to pass into oblivion, for this will be their final resting place. Crimean stragglers joined with an army on loan from Banyan. I've even heard they have a betrayer in their midst, and yet they still march on. What an odd group, but as long as Kilvas stands at the side of Dian, they have no future. I suppose they are just unlucky. It appears the enemy has spotted us. Well, a group this large is hard to miss. How will you proceed? No tricks, nothing fancy. We'll hit them hard from the front, fast and hard. I'm sure you're already aware of this, but if you don't do something about Kilvas, you're at a disadvantage. Yes, I've heard about the Ravens, but even so, it's not as if we can turn tail and run away. Now that I think on it, King Kilvas and Prince Rayson used to be close friends. Did you ask him to speak to the king? He was most emphatic in his refusal. It seems that Nisela was responsible for Rayson's capture at the hands of Duke Tanas. I can't really blame him. And the Hawks? They too are of the bird tribes. Surely some connection can be found there. They weren't very excited about the suggestion. We could command them to do it. There's an antagonism between the tribes that we don't understand. I'd rather not force the issue. Trying to coerce them into it would be unfair. I will let them do as they please. That is so very like you. However, giving orders that are unpopular is often necessary when one is in command, and maybe so, but I can only do things the best I know how. My own way. Come, it's time to go. Yeah, I will be doing things my own way because I didn't bring any of those units with me, so I have every intention of doing things my own way. Okay, I think I won't have to defeat these two like I did yesterday. And you get bonus experience if you let them fly away before the end of the chapter, so that's what I intend to do. Pretty sure I can do it. If not on first try, then after a few tries anyway. I want to get rid of this ballistas as soon as possible. Okay, Soren is definitely gonna need a bit of help. Getting there, I mean. I know exactly where to meet him. Oh, they didn't try to go for Jill this time. Interesting. Hello, RNG. How are you today? Ah, yes, no, they are trying to get Jill. thought to myself, please, please, no critical hits. Oh, she got a hit. Okay. Hold on, ads. Hey, yeah, okay. I was just saying, how's it going, RNG? Hello, hello. Alright, I'll get the ballista on the next turn. What is it? Oh, I selected this unit thinking it was Boyd, but actually it's another mercenary. Everything going well? How about you? Tired, but good otherwise. I had been feeling a bit less tired lately, but it's these past 2 days. I don't know why I don't sleep quite as well. If I do send her over there, yeah. Oh yeah, I had to class up a few units, by the way, off stream. So now everyone that I intend to use that was not classed up yet is classed up. Just saying. I'll wait till the next turn before I lure in this guy here. Okay, if they gain 4 points per turn, then they should not attack yet. No, stay there, I guess. Don't need that now. Attacking Marcia, huh? Okay, he missed. The longsword is efficient against mounted units. Well, units on horseback is what I should say, because specifically horses. More speed. She will probably cap her speed at the rate at which she's going. This ballista. Okay, oof. I wasn't sure when I put her there that this was out of range. Thought this should do it. Just barely though. Yeah, these guys will probably... I don't know, maybe only one of them will transform next turn. Well, it's just as well. This is kind of what I wanted. I believe my units are strong enough to defeat Nisala. He doesn't die, he leaves the battlefield. But I wonder if maybe later on in the story, if things will be different with Raisin, if he never apologized or forgave Nisala, is what I should say from the perspective of Raisin. This one may die. Oh, black wings among humans. These are considered bad omens, are they not? Then take these omens as fact and let them herald you to the afterlife. Afterlife, sorry. Why is he attacking me like that now? He attacked me head on last time I played. What was that about? Last time I was lucky because she hit with the Laga's axe. This time I don't know if I'll be this lucky. Yeah, well, figures. This is working. Lagus Slayer, 57% accuracy. Yeah, also I gave an arm scroll to Soren so that he can use the tornado magic. Ah. This is not going as well as I had hoped. Wouldn't he be better off trying to hit him with the Lagus Slayer? Probably. And even then, he doesn't have a ton of HP, that's the problem. .24 but 46 accuracy. Well, let's see if that tornado magic is gonna work. Because if it doesn't work... he's gonna die if I just send him in like this. What about him? 20 times 2, he would survive. But that's only 16 though. And that's also not very accurate. It did hit. Now, is there anyone who's gonna be accurate enough? She would be. She'll get attacked once. But then she should kill him, I think. Betrayer of Lagus, I'll tear those black wings off your back. You Galleons are with Crimea, but with me, we with Diane, we're both helping one side. I'd like you to tell me how that makes us the betrayers. Crimea and Diane are not the same. Oh, but they are. They're both home to Lagus hunting, Lagus hating humans. Granted, Diane's anti-Lagus sentiment is more obvious, but surely you realize there's no great difference between it and Crimea, or Banyan for that matter. But you may think yourself a warrior, but the humans have tamed you. Allow me to open your eyes. Ah. Okay, she didn't miss. Whew! Thankfully. No, this cannot be. Is this my fate? What of Kilvas? And with that, I haven't defeated a single crow. So I should get the topmost possible reward with a bonus experience. Ah, I was careless, and you're better than expected. To me, my brethren, we leave at once. Now all the crows are green units. That's fortunate. This guy is in danger, though. Okay. All right. Some of the crows may get killed by the boss before they can run away, though. Kilvas has betrayed us. I think abandoned would be more accurate, but idiot, it's the same thing. Arr! Accursed subhumans. We should never have trusted them. Ah! Okay. Fly away! 2, 3, 4, sorry, 5, 6. Or did I kill a crow? I thought there were 8 total. Or did I not count properly? And I guess I could defeat the boss already if I wanted. You have to finish it under a certain amount of turns. Oh, 9 turns. Oh, well, there's time still. For each enemy raven that escapes, 30 bonus experience. Okay. And clear bonus is 150. That should be plenty. That's a relief. It's a good thing I planned to be able to take on Nisala, because without some preparation, I don't think it can be done. That's why I have all these Blagus-specific weapons with me. I could have just talked to him, but I wanted to bring with me the units that still have a long way to go to get all their support experience, support levels. And I wanted to get that out of the way ASAP. Don't know if the boss is going to move or not. Okay, Marcia and Jill should get these 2 units on the next turn. Then I can start moving in. So if I wanted to, I could do it with this one. That's a good bow I made for Boyd, by the way, but it was quite expensive to make. I think I paid like 4,000 just to make it, the rookie's bow. I put everything in accuracy and might. Weight, I just left it as is, and I needed it to be an iron bow because you can't wield anything higher than E rank. I should say. Not fast enough to attack him twice, I see. But she is! Okay, let's put an end to this. My sword is lightning! Do you think you can follow its dance? He has a skill that triggered. Adept, maybe. A shame. Okay, Titania and Boy just got another. No, Kiran and Riz didn't get anything. Marcia and Kiran got an extra level of an extra chapter of support. Gatri and Astrid, Gatri and Ileana, Ileana and Zihark, Soren and Stefan, Jill and Leth, and that's it. All right. We won, somehow. My Lord Ike, I'm so pleased to see you well. You haven't been injured, have you? Princess Alincia, I'm fine. I am unarmed. Oh, that's good. Ike, may I have a word? And if you don't mind, Princess Alincia, would you join us as well? Please join me in that building. What could it be? Let's go and see. This is holy. Incredible, no? It's gold, all of it. Diane must be filthy rich. There's so much, it doesn't even seem real. What do we do with it? It's the spoils of war, so naturally it's ours. In that case, I'd like to borrow 50,000. Would that be alright? That's a lot of money. What are you planning on doing? It's a private matter. I apologize, Commander. You're not a child. There is no reason for me to pry. My Lord Ike, please, use this gold for the mercenary company. Until now, I haven't had the resources to adequately pay them. So please. No, if I may borrow the 50,000, that will be more than... You won't borrow it, you'll accept it, and in good faith. The remainder we'll give to Soren for company maintenance. Would that be alright, Princess Alincia? Yes, of course. General Petrine, please, General, I'm just a messenger. However, I have to tell you, I already heard, you dunderhead. I hated those filthy crows right from the start. Even so, to be betrayed in such a fashion. Someone will pay for this. Oh, you certainly had your way with us, didn't you, King Kilvas? But if you want to make an enemy of Diane, then so be it. Once Gallia's fallen, we'll turn our attention to your puny nation and wipe it off the face of the world. Why are you still there? Do you find me amusing? Shall I make my lance dance for you? No, ma'am. No, never. Not at all. I beg your pardon. So sorry. I'll be going now. Dog's breath. I need something. Brilliant plan. If this continues much longer, the king will have my head. You wanted to see me? You've waited a long time. Take this. It's the gold you were promised. Finally scripted together, eh? I'll gladly accept it. Aren't you going to count it? There's no need. I'll trust you. Alright, then I'll take what was promised. The report you wrote for my father. There isn't one. What? There is no report. Never was. You lied to me? You exploited my need to know more about my father? There is something I must tell you. However, it could not be written down. It is too great of a secret for that. Your father told me to wait until I thought you were mature enough to hear it, and then to tell you myself. Mature? Then what was the 50,000 gold for? Ah, the gold. That was my idea. I thought it would be a good way to test how resourceful and responsible you were. Get started. I want to hear it all. I spent a long time as Grail's hired shadow. A long time. I remained hidden from sight in case the day ever arrived that I needed to fulfill my contract. All that time, for one job. What was it? If Grail were ever to go berserk, I was to stop him. I was to take his life. What? Actually, there was one other thing. If Grail were ever slain by his pursuers, I was to watch over his son and tell him Grail's secret at an appropriate time. That was my job. Berserk? What are you talking about? Why would you have to kill my father? Because of Laurent's medallion. What medallion? What are you talking about? The medallion your sister carries. Huh? That old bronze thing? I thought it was just a keepsake of my mother's. Are you telling me that it's something more? Grail told me it was an object of great peril, but nothing more. I did some investigating on my own, though, and what I discovered surprised me. Tell me. Laurent was one of the Huron clan, an ancestor of our Prince Rayson, who carried with him a bronze medallion. Long, long ago, a band of heroes defeated an evil god and imprisoned it therein. An evil god? Do you think this is funny? You are joking, aren't you? Unfortunately, I'm not, and I have no idea how the cursed thing came to be in Grail's possession. That being said, I do know that the men who hunted your father were actually seeking the medallion. Why they wanted it and what they planned to do with it, just thinking about it gives me chills. I'm finding all of this a little hard to believe. You said the medallion was an object of great peril, didn't you? Then why would my father allow Mist to carry it around? That doesn't make any sense. It's because she can carry it safely. Actually, she's the only one who can. If you want proof, think back. Have you ever once touched it? No, I haven't. A long time ago, I remember reaching out for it while Mist had it in her hand. My father scolded me harshly. After that, I assumed it was my sister's alone, and I never reached for it again. Compared to other people, the balance within your sister is extremely strong. Your mother, it seems, was the same. That's why they could bear it safely. The medallion is like strong poison. It takes the worst aspects of a person and magnifies them 1,000-fold. Grail touched it only once, and it drove him to complete madness. So that's what you meant when you said he went berserk. That's right. Bjork and Lagos are made up of two forces, balance and chaos. In this, there is no difference between us. It is the proportion of balance to chaos that determines how much the medallion affects a person. In that sense, it predicts how much harm that person might do. Your father was one of the preeminent swordsmen of his generation. That day, after he touched the medallion, 20 soldiers had come for him, 20 highly trained killers. Your father barely broke a sweat cutting them down. Then he began attacking his neighbors, those who had taken him in, concealed his identity and called him friend. He slew them one by one until your mother rushed in, thinking only to save her husband from himself. Mother, no! It was over in an instant. Your mother grabbed the medallion from his hand and stepped away from him. They say she smiled as he pulled his sword from her breast and forgave him as her life's blood spilled into the street. My father killed my mother? No, that can't be. It wasn't his fault. It was the medallion. Its power is too great for any man, even one of your father's caliber. Me? You? If either of us touched it, I'm certain that we both would have been consumed by madness. When your father regained his senses, he tracked me down. It seems he'd heard rumors of me some time before. He said he had need of someone like me. Close mouth. Skilled, and most importantly, willing to do any sort of work. Of course, after hearing what he wanted me to do, I turned him down. Grail was once a famed general. He was Sir Gawain, one of Diane's 4 riders, and I recognized him at once. There was no chance someone like me would ever be able to stop him. But you took the job anyway. Why did you change your mind? Grail had lost his wife, and his grief was overpowering. To keep anything like that from happening again, he crippled himself. He slashed the tendons in his sword hand so that he could not wield the sword again. I took the job only because he had become someone my skill could handle, and even then he was still far stronger than most men. I don't know what to say. That is Grail's secret, as I know it. I now entrust to you the responsibility of seeing that the medallion does not fall into the wrong hands. Your sister must keep it. As my father lay dying, he told me to forget everything and live in peace. What did he mean? He didn't want you to lose yourself and go hunting for revenge, I suppose. He was killed much sooner than he ever expected to be. So my father's dying wish was for me to protect the Medallion. If I can do that, everything will be alright? I believe so. At the very least, that must take precedent over everything else. I understand. Oh, one last thing. What is it? Do you want to hire me in the event that you go berserk someday? If we make a deal now, you won't have to worry about it anymore. As for payment, I take it out of the 50,000 you just gave me. What do you say? Let's keep using him, I suppose? Please, that's a wise decision. And in that case, I no longer need to conceal my true identity. Huh? He's gonna class up? Ah, yeah. He's an assassin. His movement doesn't change. I'm not really a thief, I'm an assassin. From now on, I'll take on any job you've got, no matter how dirty. Father, mother, oh why? Raven escaped. 7. Maybe I killed one by accident. Maybe one of them ran up to me and I killed it on the enemy's face, maybe, or something. Ah, well. I'm gonna save on this one. The kingdom of Diane lies on the northernmost edge of Zelgius. Its coastline is bathed in the icy current of the northern sea, and frigid winds howl inland with terrible ferocity. As a result, Diane winters are raw and brutal. Ice and snow scour the land, leaving frozen scars in their wake. Through these blizzards, General Ike and the Crimean army press ever forward. Benion's Imperial Senate may have lent Crimea troops, but even they doubt that the army can successfully fight off Diane. Yet somehow, Ike and company defy all odds and capture victory after victory. Embracing both Princess Alicia's dreams of a liberated Crimea and the tragic history of his parents, Ike marches in grim silence. This can only mean one thing. The enemy knows exactly how we are going to move. With your permission, I'll begin an investigation to see if there's anyone suspicious among the troops. Ike? Ike, are you alright? Oh, yes, sorry. What is it? Nothing. I was just giving you the standard update. Shall I put it off till later? No, sorry, but can you start over from the beginning? I'll pay attention this time. Understood. Good morning, you two. What's wrong, Ike? You look so sleepy. I've had a lot on my mind. I meant to sleep last night, but I was up thinking. Before I knew it, it was morning. Really? I never thought I'd hear that. Ike didn't sleep because he was thinking. I wonder if Soren will start being polite. Listen, Titania, can I just... My brother, Ike! What's wrong, Mist? What am I going to do, Ike? My medallion's gone. What? It's gone? No. What am I going to do? It was my only met of mother. Did you drop it or put it somewhere and forget? Something like that? No, I always carry it with me. I would never lose it. I had it before I went to bed last night. It vanished while I was sleeping. Don't cry. It's not your fault. But... I said don't cry. I'll find it. Alright? Alright. Sorry. Who was it again? Is it Nazir? No. I don't recall. Are you serious? You are to begin immediately. Yet that's General Petrine. If we do this thing, Diane will suffer. It's for the good of the country. Besides, it's only one territory. Stop mewling like an old woman. I hear you, and yet, if the goal is merely to stop the Crimean army, that is not necessary. The strength of my troops would suffice to... The last idiot who told me that ended up on a corpse pile. Now listen to me and listen well. No matter how passionate you are when you tell me you'll defeat Crimea, I'll never pin my hopes on a bunch of foreigners. All you have to do is stop their forward progress, that's all. My plan will accomplish this. General Petrine, do you truly think so little of us? It's true that we were born in Banyan and not Dian, but my men and I have been loyal to this country for 18 years. We have spared no effort to learn all the proper manners and customs of this land. But now, after all that, to be dismissed as a bunch of foreigners. No one asked how long you've lived here. Want to know why? Because no one cares! Certainly not me. Where were you born? Huh! Where were you raised? Huh! This country doesn't need squatters like you. The only people Dian can count on in times of crisis are Dians themselves. Everyone else is just gutter leavings. So we're useless, is that what you're saying? You tell me, migrant. Why is it that your unit, which was trained to be an elite royal guard, is here patrolling this hick-infested backwater? The answer's clear to me. How about you? Oh, I'm sorry. Am I offending you? Well, here's your chance to show us your worth. Halt Crimea's advance. If you are as skilled as you claim, you should be able to limit the damage to its bare minimum, should you not? Angry is a good look for you. I look forward to seeing the results of your work. Get going, Outlander. General Chiaram, must we truly go through with this? It's such a horrific act. It's only recently that the citizens hereabouts have even come to trust us. We have no choice but to obey. It's as the woman says, the only thing we can do is ensure the Crimean army is defeated as soon as possible. General, open the floodgates. Do it now. Floodgates? Just a bit more. Would you mind hearing my report on our last battle? Sure, go ahead, please. Very well. There were no deaths and no injuries beyond our capabilities to heal. Everyone performed exceedingly well. That is all. With your leave, I will excuse myself. Shouldn't need that anymore. Oh yeah, she has axes now as well. Not that she can use though. Oh, let me forge one. I have the gold to spare anyway. Look at how rich I am. Yay! Hold on, because I need to check how much build she has. Okay, 8. Nah, crap. I wanted to call it the cleaver, but I guess I will not have enough characters, so... Make it red. Oh, I guess... Well, she's more pink than red, but oh well. Jill's Spike and Jill's Axe. Alright then. Convoy. Okay, let's check out the supports. Ike and Leth. Nope. Ah, Boyd and Titania. Nice. So they only have 5 more chapters to go. Hello, Boyd. Titania, I'm not slacking. I've done my training. Look, I'll do more. Hiya! Kia! Hoa! Boyd, I haven't said a word. Oh yeah, I guess not. I'm so used to all our conversations starting that way. I didn't come here to chew you out. You don't need that anymore. We're fighting intense battles now, and you can't let your guard down. But you know that, right? I guess so. Your training has become instinct. That's all you need to survive. You've learned that lesson, Boyd. You'll be alright. Shoot. What? Did I say something wrong? This doesn't sound right, Titania. I feel like you're praising me. Well, I am. You're a true warrior now. One of our best. Oh man, this is making my head spin. It's like a bad omen or something. I think it's scarier than being chewed out. I see. So you want me to chew you out, huh? Great. I can do that. No, that's not what I meant, Titania. Soren and Stefan. Who goes there? Don't be so alarmed. I'm one of yours. One of ours. Unlikely. Yes, one of your kind. I see that you pretend to be something you aren't and have lived among foreigners. I see that I've puzzled you. I'll let you stew on what I have said. Let's sit and talk next time our paths cross. This is gonna be so interesting, but this is gonna take some more effort to get to rank A between these two. Well, I guess that's that. With the supports. Woman. Yoo-hoo, you there, young man. I have business with the general of this army. Would you convey a message? Who are you? Who am I? What kind of low-born greeting is that? My name is Khalil, and I'm a first-class mage, and by that she means the worst in the game. And what would a first-class mage want with this army? What's your problem? You look as if you don't believe me. Well, I suppose I can't hold that against you. It's not often you find beauty like this coupled with intelligence like mine, but it's true nonetheless. A mage, huh? Well, I guess you can never have too many mages lying around. Oh, and as a bonus, I'm quite skilled with a knife as well. Beauty, brains, and brawn. The goddess has seen fit to put the abilities of 3 people into one delectable package. Sounds like favoritism, doesn't it? Hello? Are you listening to me? There's a beautiful woman talking. Yeah, the point is that you want to join the Crimean army, right? How much are you planning to charge? Well, aren't you the little businessman? Let's see, how does free sound? Suspicious. What's the catch? I like my fees to be based on performance. Watch how I do in combat and make me an offer. Depending on what it is, I'll decide whether or not to grace you with my assistance. You're not lacking for confidence, are you? Of course not. I already told you. I'm a first-class mage, and by that she means the worst in the game. Alright, you're in. What? Are you allowed to make decisions like that on your own? Perhaps I should speak to the general. I am the general. What? Rayson, could you come down here for a moment? What do you need? I've got something I want to ask you about. If I can help, I will. Your ancestors. Forget it, it's nothing. What? Is something wrong? I apologize. Let it go. It seems like something important has happened, but if you do not want to discuss it, that is your right. However, if this weren't a battlefield, your secret might not be safe. Please take care in the future. What do you mean? We of the Huron clan, if we choose to, we can read the thoughts of others. Seriously? However, this power is only available to us in the calm and peaceful environment. Here in this desperate maelstrom of chaotic emotion, it avails me not. Energy here is warped and distorted. You know, now that you mention it, Rayson, are you feeling sick? You're so pale that it's hard to tell, but I think your face looks more wan than usual. Pay it no mind. I'm fine. You've got nothing to prove. Why don't you stay off the battlefield for a while? Ike, I'm fine, I promise. Please do not give me special treatment. As far as giving you special treatment goes, I don't really have a choice. I promised King Phenesis I wouldn't push you too hard. If anything were to happen to you, I'd be at war with Diane and the Bird clans at the same time. I see. I came to repay my debt, but I'm really just being a burden. That was not my intention. Hold on a moment. Who said anything about you being a burden? I cannot engage in combat, so I'm nothing more than an obstacle in the field. Rayson, no, that's absurd. Don't you understand how useful your abilities are? No one else can do the things that you can. You're irreplaceable. So if you're not feeling well and try to do too much, you may not be there when we really need you. I'm of use to you then. That's what I've been trying to tell you. We depend on you, and that's why I need to make sure you stay healthy. In that case, I wouldn't mind taking a short break. But you can call me anytime. I'll come right away. I got it. Okay, in terms of items, is that everything? Do I need something specific? Not that I can see. Ah, well. Okay, let's get started with the next chapter. My Lord Ike, were you able to find the medallion? No, it's gone. I fear that Diane may have somehow stolen it. What? Is such a thing possible? I don't know to what degree, but there can be no questioning Diane's involvement. Is the medallion special? Yes. Oh, yes. I beg your pardon? What is it? My question may have touched a sensitive area. Oh, no, it's not that I don't want to discuss it with you personally. I just can't really talk about it to anyone. It's a private matter. I see. Ike. What is it, Ilky? I hear the sound of rushing water just ahead. A lot of it. Rushing water? According to the map, there's a large river up ahead. That must be what you hear. This is unnatural, warped. It is not the sound of a normal river. General Ike, sir, we've got trouble. The road ahead is blocked by water. What? How can that be? Perhaps a local river has flooded. The whole region is soaking wet. Is the road completely impassable? No, sir, we can move forward, but the water has turned the ground to mud. And the water is still flowing at a tremendous rate, sir. This is going to cut back our speed dramatically. This is the work of Diane. They thought to impede our progress in order to gain some time for themselves. And they've succeeded. Blast, is there nothing we can do? What if they were able to flood the road only when we approach? There must be floodgates in the area. So if we can close them, we'll shut off the flow of water, right? That makes sense. Let's get some scouts looking for gates. What's that? Hey, if you're looking for something, leave it to me. I am the Hawk King's Highs, after all. What do you mean? These peepers on mine can see for miles and miles. They're quite handy. It would be a shame not to use them. Is that some Lagus power? You're a hawk with the eyes of a hawk? It beats your fantastic wits. My eyesight isn't a racial ability, it's just my own natural talent. Heck, my pal Ilky has ears that can hear grass growing on the other side of the country. I see. Well then, job's yours. Do you think you can find the floodgates? I just look for some openings with a lot of water pouring out, right? Yeah, I can handle that. Talrega floodgates. The Crimean army is here. All troops, combat formations. Hit them fast and hard. We can't let this battle drag out. So those are the floodgates. If we can get them closed, the water will recede in about 12 hours or so. Alright, let's get going. Now to decide, is there anyone who joins in this chapter? Khalil, but she joined during the base conversation, so I don't have to worry about that. Oh, this is Jill's father? Okay. That's too bad. I could have had something special happen if she already had an A rank support with Mist. Jill, I mean. Talking about Jill. Because if she speaks to her father, she will join the enemy. Which is interesting in and of itself for a Fire Emblem game, because I can't recall many other instances of it happening. If she speaks to the boss, she turns into an enemy. But the conversation is altered, and she remains in my army if she has an A support rank with Mist. But she doesn't, yet. Some sources say B supporting Jill with Leth has the same effect. Ah, okay. But this isn't true. Okay. Well, besides... because otherwise... Hold on. Because otherwise... Ah, no, she's only rank C? Oh. I thought she'd already be at B at this point in the game. Or is this something I missed? Ah, no. Okay. Weird. Okay, I'm only allowed 11 units. Just this time, I will not bring Titania with me. Or Boyd. I'd like to start building some support between other units. Hold on. Tanith, I need Marcia. Stefan and Soren, I definitely need them with me. Iliana still has a long way to go to get her support with Seahawk, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more chapters. That's barely enough between now and the end of the game, so... Unless I forgot to count some chapters, but... I don't think I'll be able to grind all the support for everyone that I want. I think I will run out of chapters to play before I can get there. And that's unfortunate. Trying to think of who I can leave behind without too much remorse, because I'd like to bring Oscar. Start building support with Tanith if I can. Astrid. I guess I'll leave Astrid and I'll take Oscar instead. Are you alright? You look rather pale. General Ike, to be honest, I know, the enemy general is your father, isn't he? How did you know? I overheard you talking to that man with the eye patch. I see. If you're having second thoughts, it's not too late. Do you want me to switch you out with someone else? No, I'll be fine. At least, I think I will. You don't have to be in the vanguard. Just keep that in mind. Thank you. Okay, I have 2 houses to visit and a boss to defeat. critical hits. Okay. Strength and defense. And that's not going to be enough unless he pulls up a critical hit. Ah, well, there we go. For once, he actually did so at the time when it was convenient, when it was required, instead of getting a critical hit on a unit that's already at 1 HP or something. Ah, well. General, how long are the floodgates to remain open until the Crimean army has been defeated? Sir, if we wait that long, all of the neighboring farmland will be drowned. The locals are already quite upset. They may not abide this much further. General, enough, soldier. If you've got the time to be belly aching, take your butt out to the battlefield and kill some Crimean soldiers. Captain Hart, do you support this action? Dying citizens will die. Lives will be ruined. Even if we claim that it's necessary in order to achieve victory, this is too much. This is Diane's way. Are you ready to disobey the king and be put to the death for your troubles? I would rather die than kill innocent Diane civilians. If you're executed as a traitor to the throne, your parents and siblings will also pay. Are you still prepared? Now, do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? Go, fight bravely. Yes, sir. To gain the trust of the king, we've become cruel and heartless. I wonder if the design of the armor is the same on Jill and her father. I'd like to commit that to visual memory to compare the two. I wonder if her armor is closer to her dad's or to ours. To gain the trust of the king, we've become cruel and heartless. First hunting and executing the Lagas, and now flooding the lands these people call home. General Shiaram, if someone hears you use the word Lagas in this country, you'll be branded a traitor. You're right as always. To live in this land where Lagas prejudice is so virulent. We've had to seal away everything we know and teach our children to hate all subhumans. All that just to survive here. It's Ashnard's fault this country has become what it is today. Ah, what a terrible miscalculation we made. Even so, I hated the idea of furthering the corruption of the Imperial Senate. I will continue to support your reasons for leaving Benyon. I wonder if Jill has distanced herself from the Crimean forces. I did give her a warning. Above all else, I would like to avoid meeting my daughter in combat. I pray that she does not take to the field this day. Knowing her temperament, talking with you would only increase both of your sorrows. I have but one favor to ask of you. Say it and it will be done. Do not fight today. What? Only one side can win a battle. If we are defeated in the end, I want you to take care of this, to care for the survivors and their families. Yes, sir. Commander Shiraram. Commander, it's been many a long year since you last called me that. May the fortunes of war be with you. Through all that's happened, it's been an honor to serve with you. It's a good thing he has a lot of defense.
He's not quite strong enough, though.
It's a good thing I didn't let Leth get grabbed by this guy. So let me see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 enemy units. Man, no, the design of the armor is unique. It's not meant to resemble anyone else's. Hold on, youngster, who do you think you are? You can't just come barging into people's homes. Let me tell you something, you can ransack my home all you want, but you'll find nothing of value here. All our young men have been dragged off to war, and all that's left are women and children. If it's gold you're after, take that scroll on the floor there. You may be able to sell it. It's just something I picked up, so I don't know if it has any value, but take it anyway, you dirty thief.
Spite, you say?
Yeah, I figured. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Do it from here. Is there one weakened already that I could take out? Well, this one is not strong enough to resist me. critical hits. Those were all the enemy units in range. Who else should I take care of? Oh, okay, well they're in range already. There's a rescue staff apparently in the other house. Oh, what, reinforcements from there? Perfect target for him. Well, I take it the boss is not going to move. Okay. Lady Jill, is that you? What are you doing with the Crimeans? I'm sorry, I've chosen the path that's right for me. Ha! You would betray your own father. Okay, interesting that there is a dialogue when she fights her father's men. Yeah, I figured she has good resistance. Ball cannon. Oh no, she killed any wood. No, not reinforce. You filthy Crimean, get out now. There's nothing in this shack that would make you happy. Oh, so you won't leave till you get something, is that it? Here, take this old staff. Now hit the road. You've no need to steal anything else from us. Or will you take my life as well? In that last skirmish, my boy, my only son, you stole his life. Curse you. I hope you're satisfied. Ah, yeah, not fast enough. Oh, strength? Really? She doesn't need strength. Ah, shoot. But she should be alright, yeah. But all the same, that was a bit careless of me. Okay. That's a relief too. Ah, reinforcements. Take this guy. Provoke. Uh-huh. Yeah, many reinforcements. Ah, go ahead. Finish him. His resistance is high. No surprise there. Is she particularly good at magic? Well, I guess she has 10. missed. Managed to hit this time. Critical hit. Or that was something else. What was that? Was that a skill? Triggered adept, but that was totally unnecessary. Stop using that magic on me, you. Not bad. Advanced strength, speed. All good things. That way. Sadly, these two, they will not have taken part a lot in the battle. Arrive in 15 turns, it says. Sword, regal sword. How about with him? Oh, you'll be nice, right? You'll pull off a critical hit for me, right? Neither of us desires a drawn-out battle. Come, hold nothing back. The rest is up to you. Chill. Give me your spell book. Seems to be a good one. No. Well, if that's everything, let's put an end to this. General Ike, sir, the floodgates have been closed. Soren, what's the damage to the surrounding area? It's terrible. All of the fields and homes have been completely destroyed. I see. I don't think this is what the enemy general wanted either, so why did this have to happen? It's heartless. What will happen to those who've lost their homes? Can we do anything to help them? You want to aid the people of our enemy? That is time and energy we cannot afford. Soren, take a portion of our supplies and distribute it among the locals. What? Are you serious? Our opponent is the Dian army. We have no quarrel with these people. Ike, I know you feel for these people, but this is war. We don't have... I don't know what it will accomplish, Soren, but moving on without lifting a finger is something I cannot do. I understand. I'd rather regret something I had done than regret taking no action at all. I would like to help too. Perhaps I can aid the injured. Idiocy. This guy. Oh, father. Chill. No matter the reasons, I'm the one who took your father from you. I can't use this war as an excuse. If you want revenge on me for your father, I understand. You have that right. Once you've had some time to think things through, let me know what you will do. I'd like to have you to stay with us, but it's really up to you. That's all I had to say. 1, 2, 3, 5 in all. We're lucky to have that many. Captain R, what are we supposed to do now? General Shiaram is dead, and our homes are gone. What are we to do with our families? What do you want to do? We've lost any right we had to stay here, so that leaves Banyan or Crimea. General Shiaram was slain by Crimea. Joining with them now is it's not possible. Then all you can do is return to Banyan. I doubt you'll get a hero's welcome, but I've an old friend in the Pegasus Knight. Shall I contact her? God's 18 long years. What does any of it mean now? Don't say that. No matter what, I'm proud to have served under General Shiaram. You're right. It was an honor. Well, that's that. We gained some time by flooding the river, but it won't hold them for long. I knew that throwing Kerr was useless. It looks like the decisive battle will be fought near the capital. Preparations are complete, General Petrine. In order to ease command for you, Sir Bryce, I guess, would serve as your deputy. Regarding strategy, it would be easiest if you spoke with him directly. Sorry to tell you this, Anna, but I'm not the one who'll be directing our forces in the capital. Would it be the Black Knight, then? The plans must be adjusted slightly. I'll select someone else to act as deputy. No, not him either. His Majesty wishes you to direct the defenses, Anna. Me? I am to take command of the army? That's right. You're moving up in the world, General Anna. It's too much for me. I must confirm this with the king. Ha! What a rare sight this is. I've never seen you so flustered. Listen, if you wish to meet with His Majesty, you must fulfill your duties. It's ordered that there be no communications until that time. I'm a bit late. What if it isn't the Black Knight? The Big Black Knight? It's been such a long time. You're always so very busy, aren't you? Here one day, there the next. Your secret maneuvers are... They are proof of the trust His Majesty has placed in me. Inna, go to the East Gate. You have a visitor. Very well. Is it the worm? Did he bring it with him? It appears so. He insists that he give it directly over to Enna, though. As long as it is ours, it makes no difference. When Enna returns, you will be the one to take it directly to the king. Show care that it is not unwrapped on the way there. That could be unfortunate. I don't need to be told that. More importantly, what will you do now? Me? I will... Enna, have you been well? Where is Laurent's medallion? Right here, take it please. It feels so heavy and it's not all the wrapping either. Could this be the chaotic energy of an evil god? So you can now return to King Ashnard's side, can you not? No, not yet. What do you mean? I've been entrusted with the defenses of the capital. I must face the Crimean army. No! Thank you. You've done so much for me. But now it's enough. Please reclaim your freedom. There's no need for you to follow Diane's orders any longer. And you, do you mean to die? No, I cannot retreat. Even if I have to slaughter the entire Crimean army, I will return to him. Yet he thinks nothing of you. That matters not. The only place I belong is at his side. I will most likely never see you again. I'll pray for your eternal happiness. And now, wait! Forget about me. That is my final request. Farewell, Nazir. Enna. Traitor! During the Battle of Talriga, Ike and the rest of his company come to a bleak realization. Wherever the Crimean army marches, the land becomes a battlefield. The damage is immense. Warfare and floodwaters claim homes, crops, and hope. Villagers seeking shelter and safety stumble blindly through the snow. To them, there is no doubt that the Crimeans are an invasion force. However, the Crimeans have their own homeland to save. Focused as they are on that overriding goal, they cannot stop even to help the innocent victims of war. The only way they can help the people of Diane is to keep marching. The faster they reach Diane's capital of Nevasa and put an end to the war, the better for everyone. Chapter 21, Without a King. Diane Keep. What? Are you telling me that His Majesty has not yet returned? Yes, sir. We've sent many messengers, but we have yet to receive any sort of official response. The Crimean army is on our doorstep. What is His Highness thinking? If we want to protect the capital, we need a leader equal to one of the four riders, just in case. I'm sure the king has considered this. Lady Enna, I don't understand how you're able to remain so calm. Diane soldiers are the most elite warriors on the continent. In addition, our numbers are far superior to the Crimeans. And yet they march on Nevasa. This is the Diane capital. If there's any danger of it falling into enemy hands, we can let nothing stop us from protecting it. No offense, Lady Enna, but as a general, I do not feel you're ready for such a vital command. I think you are exactly right. Then, when this command was given to you, why did you not firmly refuse? Do you really think that wise, General? Would you refuse a direct order from the king? Let me tell you something that I've discovered. If we are unable to hold the capital, I do not believe the king will be all that upset. Ashnard does not hold a strong attachment to the country of Diane. What are you talking about? Do you understand exactly what it is you are saying? Yes. Ridiculous. There isn't a monarch in the world who would not be moved by the loss of his own country. Such a preposterous notion is beyond comprehension. General Kasatai, do not avert your eyes from reality. Reality? Ha! What reality is that? All I see is your guesswork. Then tell me, why did the king suddenly order the invasion of Crimea? As sanctions for that nation choosing to ally itself with those evil and treacherous subhumans? On the surface that would seem to be so, but doesn't the action strike you as odd? To apply sanctions properly, it would be necessary to speak with Baignon first. Baignon is the suzerain state, and Crimea answers to her. We needed Baignon's leave to make a formal declaration of war. Diane's disregard for that process made us a pariah in the eyes of our neighbors and opened us to attack from all sides. And yet not only did the king not do this, but he chose to invade without warning. It was the worst possible strategy. Furthermore, once the king conquered Crimea through the strength of arms, he seized the castle and set up residence, and now he uses it as a stepping stone for an invasion of Gallia, which means the king's goal was never to apply sanctions or even to defeat Crimea. Vashnard moves against Gallia, it's easy to envision Fenices, Kilvas and Goldoa joining the conflict. And if that happens, Baignon would be forced to ally itself with Diane rather than side with the subhumans. Look where that leads us, a continent embroiled in war. Is that not the true desire of the king? If you consider it in that way, your words do begin to make sense. Yet to accomplish that, the citizens of Crimea would have to be sacrificed. That would be an act of madness. Let's return to the topic at hand. The king has gained himself a new castle, and I believe he considers whatever land he occupies to be his kingdom. Diane and its people are already behind him. He need not look back. Pah! If the king wished to rule the world, he would want as much military strength as possible. To forsake even a portion of the strength he currently possesses willingly, why, it would be sheer folly. Maybe he is mad. That doesn't matter. What's important is that we recognize the chance which Diane has been given. We must stop the Crimeans here. If we do not show the king our value, we are doomed. Make no mistake about it. This is complete lunacy. We will receive no reinforcement. We must hold nothing back. It is our only chance of survival. This, I cannot... Why is this? Be strong. The king has provided us in the capital with one final measure. We will use it to weather the storm. However, to use it, I need you, General Cassatai. Your cooperation is imperative. If you want to win, you must trust me. Understood. In this time, let us cling to any hope we can find. Lady, no. General Enna, I place my trust in you. So this is the Diane capital, eh? If you can just defeat King Ashnard, this war will be over. Ike, here you are. What is it, Nazir? Are you sure that you have enough soldiers to lay siege to the capital? Your opponent is called Mad King Ashnard, after all. Who knows what sort of traps he has in store for you? He may indeed have something planned. Surely they've received reports of our advancement. Yet it's so quiet. It looks like every able-bodied man has been conscripted into the army, while women and children have evacuated the area. We're not invaders. We wouldn't lay a hand on the citizenry. There's no way for them to know that. They do know what their army did to the people of Crimea, however. If they fear they will be punished for that, I'm sure they decided to err on the side of caution. What happened to the Crimean people? Surely only the soldiers were imprisoned or killed? You truly have no idea how to rule a nation. Do you know what happens to a country that loses a war? Everything is destroyed. Homes, land, crops, everything. And the citizens, they're not even treated as human. Crimeans, especially those near the capital where Diane's presence is strongest, are treated worse than than Lagas. Why would they? That's horrible. The people understand this, which is why they pay for protection in the form of taxes. For the royals and nobles who are charged with protecting the people, there is no greater sin than to be defeated in war. It is the ultimate betrayal of the people's trust. By the goddess, I am a fool. Soren, enough! Princess, be that as it may, the majority of people want to see the royal family restored to power. They believe that you will help them reclaim their old lives and restore peace. Now it's time for us to throw down Ashnard and drive his army from Crimean soil. You're the only one who can do that, do you understand? Yes I do. I will save the people of Crimea, this I swear. As I've said before, I won't be turned away. If there are traps, we just fight our way through. This war ends here. Yes, I'm with you all the way. I hope it all goes as planned. I will do my best to make it so. Reports from the last battle. There were no deaths and no injuries beyond our capabilities to heal. Everyone performed exceedingly well. That is all. By your leave, I will excuse myself. Ike and Oscar! Yay! That means Ike has all of his supports now. That's good news. Ike! Oscar, what is it? Are you well, Ike? Yeah, I'm fine. Why? Did I worry you? No, it's nothing that you did. It's just that our battles are intensifying. I never imagined that we'd be involved in clashes of this magnitude. You're right. Ever since my father died, it's been one kind of chaos after another. It's a real challenge. So, how are you doing? Well, I mean, are you as well as can be expected? Is there anything I can do? Ah, Oscar, I give you enough grief as is. Just stick with your helplessly green commander. That's all I ask. Ike, will you continue to believe in me? Yes, of course. As Commander Grail said, we are family. This is my home. I will support you to the end. Listen, I have an urge for your cooking. Think you can give Mist a hand tonight? Hi, you don't have to ask me twice. I'll put all of my culinary skills to work. I hope you're hungry. Well, alright then. Can't have any more than that. Zihark and Ileana, rank B. Hello. Hello, Ileana. You're hungry again, aren't you? No, maybe. Fine. Yes, I'm starving. How can you possibly eat so much and still be hungry? Last night you swiped the chicken wing right out of my hands. Does casting a few spells really make you that hungry? To be honest, I don't know why I'm so hungry. I'm never full. I always get hungry as soon as I eat. Normally I eat about as much food as 5 people. Today was tough because I only got enough for food for 3. What? That's just incredible. That sounds like a serious problem. Well, good luck with that. Excuse me, can you wait for a moment? What? Haven't you forgotten something? Now let me think. Nope, didn't forget anything. Oh, my mistake then. See you later. Everyone gave me something to eat, but him. Okay. Nope. Jill and Leth. Okay. So they have reached their rank B. Leth. Oh, look what the cat dragged in. It's you again. Jill. My name is Jill. Fine. Jill, what brings you here today? More stupid questions? I've been thinking about things and I haven't been able to figure out. See, in Diane we were taught that you attack humans indiscriminately and without mercy, that you are just savage animals. Lag is attacking humans. Grr, what garbage! We dislike even the company of humans and want nothing to do with them. Even mauling you would be unpleasant. But in Diane everyone believes that to be the truth. That's why I never questioned it. But when I saw you fight beside Ike and other humans on the South Sea, I knew that something was wrong. You are so different from what I imagined. Ever since I was young, they filled my head with tales of your terrible claws and teeth. But you stand on 2 legs and you talk. You even make jokes. Sometimes you're much closer to us than a beast. So glad to hear it. I wonder why humans and subhumans started fighting in the first place. Maybe we're just destined for war. Well, I don't know much about that. It's not for me to say if the goddess made us a certain way or if we're just 2 races that don't like each other very much. But I know that Gallia, Phoenicis, and Kilvas all have a reason to hate humans. What reason? Are you serious? I take it humans aren't interested in passing history down to their children. Typical. Alright. Centuries ago when Banyan was still a monarchy, the only countries were Banyan and Goldoa. Goldoa was as it is today, a reclusive nation inhabited only by dragon tribes. All the other Lagus lived in Banyan with the humans. Humans and subhumans used to live together in Banyan? I had no idea. A human was named as the first king, although the Lagus' superior strength led us to rule more often than not. Despite the harmony that most felt about this arrangement, the senators wanted nothing to do with it. In the name of the Apostle, they claimed that only a human could be the true ruler of Banyan and started a civil war. Like blind mewling kittens, the Lagus kings underestimated the situation. We never had a chance. Caught by surprise, my brothers suffered defeat after defeat in the face of superior human weapons and magic. That was the start of long dark days, the start of Lagus slavery. After nearly 200 years, a small number of enslaved Lagus managed to escape their human captors in Banyan. The beast tribes fled to the mountains and then explored forest areas, places where humans were loath to tread. The bird tribes, on the other hand, escaped to the distant southern islands. This is how our Lagus kingdoms began. It took another 80 years and the blood of many brother Lagus until we were formally recognized as nations. This is why we fight, why we hate humans Humans don't want former slaves to have countries and be treated as equals. Lagus carry the shame of the past deep in their hearts, and struggle still for the freedom that you take for granted. This is the true history of Tellius. No wonder humans would bury it. I don't know what to say. Idiot. Think! Think about what I have said. Think about what you have seen with your eyes and heard with your ears. If you don't even have the guts to do that, never show yourself in my presence again. Alright. Marcia and Tanith. Oh, Marcia, it's been a while. Oh, Chestnuts. Deputy Commander Tanith, what are you doing here? I was just about to ask you the same thing. As Deputy Commander of the Holy Guard, I took this position on Imperial orders. I never would have thought I'd run into one of my former subordinates so soon. We've been together since we crossed into Diane. Oh, I had no idea. Talk about strange luck, eh? It certainly is. I'm so glad I've come across my special subordinate. I've been looking for you for a long time, you know. Deputy Commander, your eyes. Why are you squinting at me like that? Are you angry? Oh, I'm angry. I am very angry. Very angry indeed. Right now I'm weighing my options. Which penalty should I inflict on you for deserting the Banyan Holy Guard? I'm no deserter. Didn't you read the letter of resignation I wrote? Did you think you could cast off your sworn duty by scribbling on a piece of paper? You should know the weight of being a soldier in the service of the Banyan Holy Guard. I'm sorry, but I was in such a hurry. Commander Sigrun is a charitable person. She says she is willing to overlook your desertion. Phew. However, I put an end to that nonsense. I told her that I would bring you back at any cost and deliver the appropriate penalty. I hope you're ready. Oh, I just remembered I have to be somewhere. Somewhere really far away. Excuse me, ma'am. Yeah! Stop right there. You're not going to get away this time. Okay. Oscar, I'd like him to have a B rank with Tanith, if possible at all. Okay, that's all for supports. General, thank you. The people of Tarrega were the enemy, yet you treated them with kindness. I don't know how to thank you. Oh, the provisions. It wasn't enough, but I wanted to do whatever I could. It's nothing for you to worry about, though. General Ike. My lady, is that you? Lady Fitzart? Huh? Oh, it is you. Lord Chiaram's lovely daughter. Thank heavens you're still alive. You're from Talriga. That's right. I'm Sophie from the village of Luma. I can't live there anymore, so I brought my two sisters here to the capital. After that battle, I was sure that you'd been claimed by the Dark Angel, just like Lord Chiaram. But here you are. Is this your bodyguard? Oh, so strong. You watch out for milady, you hear? She's Lord Chiaram's precious little girl. You keep an eye on her, and don't let those nasty Crimeans get near her. Actually, Please listen to me, milady. We understand all about those floodgates. Lord Chiaram would never have done such a thing if he had any other choice. We know it was those Crimeans that did it. Why, when he wasn't on duty, Lord Chiaram and his men used to help us with the plowing and the planting. And once when my sister got sick, he loaded her up onto his own wyvern and brought her to the capital to see a doctor. He's the only one who ever cared about us country folk. He opened his heart to each and every one of us. He was a good man. Those dirty Crimeans are to blame. If they'd never come to Diane, that battle wouldn't have happened, and Lord Chiharam would still be with us. Sister, I'm hungry. You're going to be alright. I'll find you something to eat in a little while. Just be patient. That soldier over there gave me this. Can I eat it? Don't be stupid. Throw that away right now. We'll starve to death before we take charity from Crimean's killers. Milady, the Crimean army is nearby. Run! You must escape and survive. We're gonna live. Even if we have to eat mud and weeds, we'll do it. And one day we'll have our revenge on those bloodthirsty Crimeans. If I can't do it, my children will. And if they can't, then my grandchildren will. We'll get them someday, I swear it. I have to go. Promise me, milady. You must go on for Lord Chiaram's sake. You mustn't get yourself killed. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Don't be. Mist? Ike! Are you alright? We've come a long way, haven't we? Do you think we can beat King Ashnard? Of course we can. We have to. If we lose, Crimea may never be rebuilt. What are we going to do, brother? I'm frightened. The medallion was my protection. Now that it's gone, my confidence has vanished. Mist. For as long as I can remember, I would talk to the medallion like I was talking to Mother. After Father died, I felt like I was talking to them both. Where could it have gone? We'll find it, and even though it's gone, Father and Mother are looking down on us and protecting us. You're right, I'm sorry. Father and Mother are in my heart, and I've got you and everyone else at my side. So even without the medallion, I'm alright. Everything's going to turn out fine. I know it. That's the spirit. Hike, Mist, if you're going to chat, why not go inside? Even if the snows are beginning to melt, it's still cold out there. Oh, hi, Nazir. You're right, I do feel a bit cold. Shall we go back to the tent? Uh-huh. Let's go, Ike. You too, Nazir. Forgive me. Nazir, what's wrong? Hurry up. Oh, of course. Mm-hmm. I put something in there that I didn't intend to put. By the way, do I still have... Yeah, okay, there's still plenty of room in the convoy. Okay, give her a few more things so that she can defend herself. Gonna have to find someone to give all these skills because I still haven't given any to anyone. It feels like a waste. General Ike, sir, the castle gates are open. That's not good. What are they planning? It must be a trap. This is unexpected. Making us lay siege would be far and away to their advantage. I have no idea what they're playing at. Even so, we will not back down. Right, Ike? Right. If we can't tell what they're planning, it matters not how we proceed. Let's just fight as we go. Move out. Keep your guard up, everyone. It's gonna be a map with treasures. Gonna need at least one thief. Enemy troops have entered the castle. They are moving already? Such recklessness. Don't they suspect a trap? I can't believe they've fallen for it. Crimea follows a general named Ike. Perhaps he follows no procedure. Perhaps he relies solely on instinct. I don't know if he's brave or merely reckless. It's unbelievable. Regardless, we continue as planned. Close the gate and seal off their escape route. This contest will be decided here. Now then, it's time for the final measure you spoke of earlier. Will you show us what His Majesty left for us? What could possibly allow us to destroy an army in one fell swoop, provided we can hurt them here? General Cassatai, no matter what I show you, do not be shocked. You must continue to trust me without question. I swear it. On my name as a Royal Knight of Dian, I will not betray you, General Enna. Thank you. She's a Lagus dragon. General Enna, you're... Ah! General Cassatai, have you forgotten your vow? No matter what happens, we will protect the capital, yes? Yes, of course. I understand. This is His Majesty's. Why, he left you here. Yes. We will win this battle. A legendary dragon of Goldoa is on our side. It is a powerful omen. Dian cannot lose. The Dian army is indestructible. We will crush the dogs of Crimea and use their skulls as goblets. Glory to Dian! Victory to Dian! Sir, the gates have just closed behind us. Look out! We're trapped in this castle. Run! Run! Attack! We're under attack! They're going to kill us! Stop, all of you! Get a hold of yourselves! You must not panic. No one has attacked. Ike! Titania, where is Princess Alincia? She's fine. She's with the supply convoy. They're all under very close guard. Soren, is this the enemy trap? Could be. If so, to what end? Well, the goal obviously isn't to divide our troops and reduce our fighting strength. We're all packed in here together. Whatever they are planning, it appears that they want us all to experience it at the same time. Medallion must have something which they believe gives them an unsurmountable advantage, some kind of ultimate weapon. So they are absolutely sure they'll win. Is that it? King Gashnard of Dayan, you'll regret underestimating us. No matter what, we must be cautious. We can spare no efforts to protect the princess. We should put together an elite team and head for the throne room. Choose the members of this team with care. Everything will rest on their shoulders. Understood. I'm allowed 13. Okay. Kiran and Marcia. Chris, Rolf. Yeah, I think there will be some that I will not be able to build supports for. It's looking unlikely at this point. I'm gonna need a thief. Come to think of it. If I could have Tormod, that'd be nice. Stefan and Soren still have quite some way to go, so I can't afford to leave them out. Too bad. I'll leave racing here then, I suppose. Do they all have enough stuff to work and do their job? Okay, let me view the map. There may be units that have keys. Physics staff, eh? I'd like to steal that if I can. Toroneo? Ah, yeah, I have to recruit him. Talk with Ike? Okay. What about Dena? How do you recruit her in this one? And that will join at the beginning of chapter 28, only if Ike fails to defeat the Black Knight in chapter 27. If Ike succeeds in defeating the Black Knight, and that will accompany the army as an NPC unit, with Nazir joining in her stead. Okay. But to do that, I have to defeat the Black Knight, though, and that's not guaranteed. I mean, by then I may be strong enough for that. We'll see. So it doesn't matter if I defeat her here, then. Okay. I wonder who's better, Nazir or Enna, but I guess we can still worry about that later. Oh yeah, there are... Oh yeah, they can inflict sleep. I need someone capable of healing anyone who is asleep. Ideally. Zenith and Marcia have to come. There's no choice. Well, I guess Tanith will have to be deployed a lot more. Because of Tanith and Marcia taking longer. So I guess I can remove Oscar again. Poor guy. Okay, let's get Wrist then. He should have a Restore Staff, yeah. Okay. It's a shame Riss and Wolf only need one more chapter to be spent together and then they'll have their B rank support. Wow. Well, anyway. Also, take a chest key. If anything, if I can get any from the shop. Nah, she's not selling any. Can't buy them, huh? Ah, well, that's a shame. All right then. Let's view the map maybe to see if I have to reposition anyone. Okay, we got 2 chests there. A room that's locked here. Here as well. Here as well. Ah, wait. Kieran is a good fit for tackling these guys. Times 2, yeah, she's not quite strong enough. She clearly needs a bit of help. Oh, there, let her finish him. She could use a forged steel lance maybe or something. Or iron lance, I guess. Yeah, an iron lance with maximum boosted strength perhaps. To give her the strength that she needs to bridge that gap to be able to one round KO such units. Ah, crud. Ah, well. Go ahead then. Okay. Almost perfect. Almost. Stiletto, the most powerful combat knife. Interesting. I guess Volk would make better use of it. Well, not quite enough, but it's alright. I don't have to worry about it too much. Should do fine. Alright, that way she's blocking the way. Guy with a steel lance. Okay, go on to that bridge. Lure him out. Should be strong enough to deal with all these guys. Yeah, I guess this guy could probably... It's probably gonna put him to sleep, so I should keep Riss not too far behind. I believe in you, Kiran. Doesn't have a ton of HP. Ah, well. But he may have a ton of defense, though. Strength, speed, defense. If he's only gonna get 3, I guess I would pick those. She kept speed already. I don't know how high there's... Ah, yeah, she just did. Okay. Brilliant. Well, wait. Yeah, well. Okay, I guess I could do that. But the last thing I want is leaving her out in the open. Okay. Oh, it's him. For us, there is no tomorrow. We cannot be beaten, nor can we withdraw. We must defeat the Crimean army and bring His Majesty back to us. Oh, she'll be fine. You can't steal it from him, can you? No. Bummer. Okay, what do we have here? Uh-huh. Tormod. Please. We are not yet defeated, General, and protect the capital. Nice. Good level up. She's probably gonna be MVP this chapter, I think, Astrid. She's really carrying the team. Yeah, well, that was a bit underwhelming, but I guess she's capped a few things already, so I suppose I shouldn't be too surprised. Okay, she can rescue him on the next turn, and then start moving. Who has the most resistance? Ah, she does, okay. Where are the physics staff users, by the way? Because I'd like to try to steal their staff, and that may have been one of them. Well, yeah, there's one by the boss. That's, I kind of expected that. I believe there were two. I know, that's a man staff. Yeah, that's the same, okay. Yeah, he could attack me from across the canal or river or whatever that is. But I could also do the same, though. It's gonna be put to sleep. Yeah, well. Ah, now he attacks me while I'm asleep. That's mean. That should wake him up, in theory, but I guess it doesn't. Huh. It's not quite strong enough to take out that boss. I'll try someone else. Give me a critical hit, if you would be so kind. Critical hit, I said. Arrgh! Okay, also, you... get out of my sight. on. I may yet be able to take out that boss. Tornado! Magic speed, resistance, okay. Alright, next turn, open that door. The Hark should be able to handle these guys. One has a short axe. Yeah, leave Soren with him. Yeah, now I have to wait till next turn for him to open that chest, and then I can start moving him away. Because she's killing so many units, the amount of experience at the end of the chapter will probably be huge. If she gains about 40 to 50 with each unit that she kills, because she has Paragon. The skill, I mean. By the way, I should write down before I forget which units are going to get support experience this turn, this chapter. Marcia and Kiran should get some. Kiran and Riz should get some too. Gatri and Astrid. Gatri and Iliana. Iliana and Ziark. Soren and Stefan. Astrid and Soth. Soth and Tormod. And that seems to be it, from what I can tell. I haven't really been keeping track very efficiently of how many chapters everyone has spent with one another. Ah, boy. No! Ah, well, okay. That's good. That missed. Okay, this guy is gonna try and miss. Perfect. And when I was hoping this guy would try to go for Soren. More reinforcements. Thought this mate IA was too far away. Thought he would have tried though. Doesn't matter, really. Yeah, well, I can't do that. Can't have someone stand in front of the door. Since I want that door open on the next turn. Maybe I should try using someone else for a change. Ah. Well, I was counting on him to dodge. Gotta be careful. Yeah, bear in mind he's already kept his kill and speed, so and strength. So there's only so much that he can grow in now. So that was not a bad level up, all things considered. Bearing all that in mind, I mean. I can't take risks. Oh yeah, why not? Strength, skill, speed. Perfect. He hasn't capped anything yet. He is a sword master too. Maybe he has the same caps as that other dude, Stefan. Is it just me, or does it seem like the promoted units, like mercenaries, have less HP than these guys? A warrior, sorry. The warrior had less HP than the mercenaries, sorry. Oh, you know what? Gatry can handle the reinforcements coming from that side. Isn't that 3 times that this one tried? I should have switched over to Elwind instead of Tornado. I think Elwind would have been powerful enough. It's a bit of a waste. At the pace at which I'm going through this map, because it's kind of big, I don't think I'll have enough time to do much more. Well, he has a sword. Might as well use it. I know, in this case, I guess this guy has more HP. Okay, he still has 1 use. Ah! Okay. Steel sword, Lagus Slayer. Yeah, let our defense soft, I guess. Although he kept his speed, so I suppose he would have been able to help to some degree. Oh well, Tanith can lend a hand too. These guys are not so powerful that she should have any issues. 7, 5. That will be 12 points of damage. Plus 3. Yeah, should be fine. Come to think of it, maybe some of these guys may have chest keys. I didn't really consider that. I wasn't. Okay, never mind. Okay, that's the last treasury. We'll have to stop by there before I end the chapter. Okay, take risks. Drop him here. Send Kiran that way, since he is the axe user. He's always trying to put Stefan to sleep. The guy is like, I'm not tired. Joffrey Baratheon style. I'm not tired! The king is tired. Show him to his chambers. Surprised he's fast enough to pull that off, because he's not fast at all. Quite the contrary. Although I guess 15 for him, that's not bad by any means. I wonder if he has kept his strength, actually. I should have a look at that. More reinforcements. Trying to see. Yeah, I don't think if I carried, because I wanted to carry Ike to put him in the front there and gain some experience, because it's always the same units that are gaining experience. I'd like someone else to get a chance to do that for once. I guess he's not performing too bad defense-wise. 15, I mean, for a mage. Okay, he gets 6 from this one. 7 from this one. How much stronger is this one? If anything, the Swordmaster has less strength than these other dudes. I think he should be fine. They don't have a chance to crit me, do they? 7. No, go ahead. I'll take responsibility. Thorn. I'm already thinking ahead that Archer is going to come for me, so I may as well use a hand axe. Be ready for when it does. There's something I never really thought about until now. But the hand axe, I guess it's not super accurate, but that's because I guess your chances of missing if you throw it are higher, I take it. But if you use it from the tile right next to the enemy as well, you don't gain any bonuses for holding it in your hand than you would from throwing it. The chances for failure would be much higher if you threw it, though. That doesn't make much sense. He has to wait, he is not done. And if anything, I should have positioned Tanith in such a way that she would be able to give a hand, take Soth, give him a lift, pass it to Kiran, give him a lift, and down to that treasury to the southeast of the boss room. Oh, well, if he's going to dodge, he's sure to be fine. I'd really like them to get to S rank. I don't know if there are any S rank fire magic books or wind magic books or anything of that kind. Skill and speed. In resistance. All good. There's Riss. Was wondering. Oh, but come to think of it, now that he is a bishop, I should give him some light magic tomes. He is not super speedy or anything, but okay, he's gonna use the spear from afar, and I think she should dodge. She has capture speed, and he's not particularly good with his skill, I suppose. Well, 18. Okay, but I shouldn't be too far behind because I want him to talk to him, to talk to Toronia. Even if I don't plan on using him, he's not part of my plans. corrosion. Okay. One, two, three, four, five. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, I'm trying to be as fast as I can to get down there. And now I guess these two flyers could carry Ziark and Soren so that they can faster catch up with the rest of the group faster. I will cut you down with ease and leave your corpse for the rats. I doubt that. He didn't miss. I mean, she didn't die or anything, but... Okay. Hiya! Take this! What is it? Why are you staring at me like that? I am Toronio, a general of Dian, young general of Crimea. I have but one question to ask you. Your swordsmanship is familiar. Who taught you to fight in this way? To the best of my knowledge, that style was used by only one man, an old friend of mine. My father, he taught me to use a sword. Is that so? Then you are Gawain's son. Wait, are you a friend of my father's? We were good friends, long ago. How is the old goat? My father no longer lives. He was defeated and slain by a Dian general. That can't be, for the Gawain I knew to be beaten. Who was it? Who took him down? A knight encased in black armor. The Black Knight, eh? I did not know his strength had grown so much. Interesting. Do you have any brothers or sisters? I have one sister. In that case, I will not fight you. The world must not lose Gawain's style of swordsmanship. I surrender. You may lock me away or execute me or what you will. I care not. Are you sane? Very much so. I had already decided that I would die in this place. I have served this country for many years, since the time of the previous king. But the current regent, he rules through fear and wants nothing but war. I can abide it no longer. If you plan on dying anyway, join us. We have need of strength such as yours. You would take a former Dian general? I cannot. Your fellow Crimeans would resist. They would never accept it. Our army does not have the luxury of being so picky. Please, lend us your strength. As you will. I've already thrown my life away. If it can serve you somehow, you may use it as you see fit. Well, now that you're here, Ike, might as well do some damage. And nothing he has is going to be strong enough, though. Or, well, the Armor Slayer. That's perfect, because those guys are gone now, so they will not be in range. I could not have timed this better. Well, sorry, Gatry, but you're too heavy. Nobody can carry you to help you catch up with the rest. I'll have him go down the right side. I think it may be a tiny bit shorter. Well, that's a timely critical hit. Thank you, Tormod. Well, Torneo, find some corner of the map to sit on and wait for the chapter to be over. I don't want to use you. Yeah, this will be the last chapter I do today. I will not have enough time to do another. I'm gonna have to go through all the chit-chat after the end of this chapter, and then go through all the chit-chat at the beginning of the next chapter, then I'll save right before the start of the map. And that'll be it. Was a bit worried he might crit me. Gonna have to lure him out since he has magic. Ideally with someone who can't counterattack this guy. But I need Toromot to be done with everything that he has to do down there though. Before I do that. Well, I guess in the meantime I can lure the other guy. Okay, who has high enough resistance? Yeah, but someone who will not counterattack. Oh, I guess she does. With a sword. Okay, she's just strong enough to handle this. Well, she got quite a bit of mileage out of it, so truly I can't complain. I get the feeling that in this game, the durability of most weapons is quite high anyway. Compared to the average. Ashnard, show yourself! Huh? A Goldoan dragon? I've been waiting for you. You are General Ike, are you not? Who are you? My name is Anna. By the orders of the king, I am the protector of this capital. Withdraw, I have no desire to fight a useless battle with you. It's Ashnard I'm after. I regret to inform you that the king is not here. What? The king and the main body of the Dayan army remain in Crimea, where they have been since it fell. Sorry. What are you saying? The king's abandoned the capital? I share your desire to see this conflict end, so rather than see you travel to Crimea to fight Ashnard, I felt it would be much faster for me to defeat you and your army here, don't you agree? That's one way to look at it. The problem is that I'll never let you do as you please with Crimea. We cannot have it both ways. We both want what is in our own interest, and that is why we have conflict. If neither of us will yield, our conflict will continue until only the stronger of us remains. I have my own reasons for fighting, and I will see you fall. Hiya! Okay, sure. If you say hiya, I guess that settles it then. That solves all our problems. Getry be like, can't keep up with you guys. I could give him the boots. I still have the boots. If I intend to keep using him in the long run. I should probably have healed him. Oh well, never mind. But I will. I will anyway. He deserves it. Okay, You be prepared to ferry him. Well, there, Toranio. I have a use for you. Take him and drop him one square closer than I would have otherwise. Okay, I need one more turn. I want to lure him out to steal his physics staff, but I need Soth to be with me. Okay, that was the last one. Hold on. I'm afraid that if the knight comes first and she uses her sword, and then the mage comes up... but I guess, yeah, even if the iron sword broke, he would try to attack her from the tile that she's standing on, right? Although... no, if she stands there, the only way that he can kill her is from a distance. Or try, anyway. Nah, she needs a weapon that's a bit more durable than 2. Can she use anything over rank E? No, she can't. And that's a problem. Yeah, you give her yours. Because that at least I know she can use. Alright. We're good to go. Yeah, it's her magic that's efficient against dragons. Because I'm gonna need her in a moment. And then... yeah, I guess she could use this. High-level lightning magic, it is very difficult to master, but it bears much destructive strength. She is rank A. So, she could use it. No damage. Ah no, I see it missed anyway. Could have healed her as well. Killer Lance. Please don't crit. I have too many items. Okay, Yeah, give me any of these. Thank you very much. And you... trade with him. Nice. Okay. Okay, who's gonna get the experience here? You? Why not? Run. Let's not forget, heal Astrid. Okay. Well, he didn't need magic, but that's a decent level up anyway. Range is only 1. Ah, yeah, I forgot. I managed to forget. Well, although, I guess... Yeah, there. Problem solved. I believe I already have 1 or 2 physics staves in the convoy anyway. So I don't have to be shy about using it if I feel like I have to. She can't quite 1 round KO the boss, but the boss is not gonna move though. Nevertheless, I don't feel like taking too long. Hold on a minute. Give me this, and I'll go place myself here. Soren can trade it, or maybe Tormod. Which of the two is the most capable? He can attack twice. He could not. Okay, so Tormod it is then. Although I guess it depends on the weight of the book. There is that too. What about Hellfire? I guess it would be about the same weight. You could still double take. Okay. Trade. Thunder. Alright, you weakened the boss a bit already. If you had wished to extend your short lifespan, then you should not have appeared before me. And that solves it. Oh, she's left with 5. Is that a skill that she has, maybe? Reduces any lethal blow to half damage. Ah, yeah, I guess that's what happened. Huh. Yeah, well. Yeah, nobody still has a Lagus weapon, right? Yeah, not really. I guess she does, but... it's not doing her any good right now. Unless Marcia? But she's too far away, isn't she? I guess maybe Gatri will be able... ah, no. You can't shove them, but I guess, yeah, there's the weight of their mount as well. Ah, well, can I just use anyone? Alright. And be done with it. That's it, right? Got all the chests, as far as I can see. Took 17 turns. That's a lot, admittedly. Don't know if there was a reward for finishing it. Ah no, 18 turns was the target actually, so I will get the full bonus, but that's nice. Thought I was slow, but not so slow after all. You are strong. I have lost. Then calm yourself and surrender. There's no reason for you to die. That I cannot do. What? I must go to him. No, wait! Nazir, good timing. Grab her, will you? He will do no such thing. I'm sorry. Nazir? Ah. Ike! Nazir, what are you doing? Go now, hurry. So you were the traitor. Someone's been giving information to the enemy. Was that you too? And Mist Medallion? Are you telling me you've been working for Diane this whole time? But you're a Lagus, why? Talk to me. Ah, this is useless. Get him out of here. His traitorous face is making me ill. Blast. Until this has been cleared up, you'll be held in custody. I won't question you anymore. When you decide to talk, let me know. He's like a troll every time. He's just completely silent. Silent. It's like ... Go to Palmini Temple. What did you say? Crimea Castle. So the capital's fallen, eh? Ha, I knew it would come to this. Still, how disappointing. It doesn't matter how well you train an army. If they don't fight, they become weak. What's the life of a soldier without a steady diet of war? Blood and pain are the food of a true warrior. Speaking of soldiers, Your Highness, the majority of our forces have been moved here. I left more than enough soldiers, and yet they could not prevail. I may have overestimated Enna. Even if she is a dragon, I suppose that was the best she could do. I suppose. But the important thing is the Black Knight. Where has he gotten to? Did you see him in the capital? I did. He bid me present this to your majesty. Ah, it's found its way back in to my hands at long last. Unwrap it quickly. Unwrap it and show it to me. Very well. Do be careful not to touch it, Petrine. It wouldn't do to have you go mad. I'd hate to have to kill you. Here it is, your majesty. Behold. Ah, how wonderful. See how it reacts to the war I have brought to this pathetic land. This is Laurent's medallion? Yes, and inside is a dark god of immeasurable power and cruelty. It once caused a flood so great that all continents save Tellius were submerged in a watery tomb. That blue light. You, me, even this very castle itself, we all radiate various forms of chaotic energy, and the dark god is pure chaos. The light you see is that energy calling out to the chaos around us. That is why some scholars refer to it as the, oh-ho, who guessed it, Fire Emblem. Hee ha ha ha. Look how you tremble. This light has the power to bewitch the human soul, you know? It calls to our chaotic impulses, like the urge to slaughter every living thing in sight. Do you feel its invitation? The permission to act on any base emotion that resides in your heart, no matter how unspeakable? My report is not finished. Ah, Petrine. Guard. Yes, your highness. Wrap the medallion and place it in the vault. At once. Go on, the report. Oh, of course, yes. As your majesty ordered, the Black Knight moves to capture Princess Serenes. At last report, he was on his way to Phoenicis. I see, so he's decided on the princess and not the prince, eh? Did he give any reasons? Yes, your highness. It was based on the findings of a group of scholars. Because the princess was isolated for over 20 years, they feel her magic will be stronger than our brothers. Yet, can the Black Knight outwit the Hawk King of Phoenicis and steal her away? The Hawk King is not always at her side. Plus, as you know, the Black Knight is in possession of a warp powder. Okay. If someone of his might has the ability to appear and disappear at will, it may be that he is without equal. Without the exception of your majesty, of course. I mean, I will have to test that someday, but not today. It's not often that one finds a tool as useful as he is. Well spoken, your majesty. Now then, Petrine, my dear Petrine, you have made one blunder after another. How would you prove your worth to me? If you wish to remain in my service, you must show me results. Unless you too wish to become food for Radiance here. Your Majesty, I will redouble my efforts. I won't let you down again. You can be a general or you can be dinner. I don't really care which, but do try to show a little initiative, won't you? Yes, your highness, by your leave. Hold, I forgot one thing. What happened to Enna when the capital fell? According to all reports, she escaped. Her current location is unknown. However, this is Enna we're speaking of. She will return to your majesty, will she not? Kill her. What? I have no further use for her. Oh, but if it's too much for you to kill her outright, use use our trust and stab her in the back. As you wish. Sweet, sweet bonus experience. Overcoming many hardships, Ike and company finally arrive in the Dayan capital of Navasa. However, much to their dismay, King Ashnard is nowhere to be found. According to intelligence reports, the king is in Crimea's capital of Melior, preparing to wage war against Gallia. In addition, at least half of the Dayan army, including its most elite forces, remain unharmed and at his side. The Crimean army is again forced to march. This time, however, the battlefield will be their own homeland. Eagerly awaiting their arrival is the Dayan army, more powerful than anything they have faced so far. This fact, coupled with Nazir's act of betrayal, has filled Ike with apprehension and disappointment. Yet it is then, when all hope seems faint, that unexpected good news arrives. Solo. I'm here, Jabba. General Ike, sir, reinforcements have arrived from Benyon. Reinforcements? I haven't heard anything about this. Have you, Princess Alicia? No, not a word. Are you sure they are Benyon troops? Yes, sir, they fly Benyon's insignia. There can be no doubt of their authenticity. And the man in command is one of Benyon's most beloved heroes, General Zelgius. There's no mistaking him, sir. Allow me to meet him first. I beg your pardon. Are you General Ike? I am. And you are? I am Zelgius, Earl of Cadol. I have been dispatched from Benyon with a battalion to support your army. Your assistance is much appreciated, but this is very unexpected. I understand your surprise. For Benyon's Imperial Senate, this decision was made with unusual haste. I imagine so. It took forever just to get the soldiers I have now. Well, there's a reason behind this expedited decision. Duke Persis has returned home. Do you mean Sephiron? Correct. Duke Persis is also senior statesman of the Imperial Senate. The Duke returned from his travels and began working immediately to settle pressing affairs of state. First he met with the Apostle, and they exchanged reports on both foreign and domestic matters. Then they discussed Benyon's position in relation to the current conflict and possible courses of action. In less than half a day they brought the entire Imperial Senate into line and sent us here to you. So you're saying that Benyon has allied itself with Crimea, is that it? That's it, exactly. I'm at your service, General Ike. Oh, wow. Thank you. Now then, please tell me what you would have my men do. I'm ordered to help in any way possible. You've caught me off guard. I can't think of anything right now. In that case, do I have permission to make camp around the palace and rest my troops? Yes, please do. That's no problem. Thank you. Please do not hesitate to call if you have need of us. We are at your disposal. Benyon reinforcements. That wasn't expected, wasn't it? It certainly was. It seems the Apostle and Sephiron did the impossible by getting them to us. All for our little army. It's hard to believe they would go to all this trouble. First we take Dayan's capital and now this? Things are looking up. You're right. Even if we don't receive help from Gallia, we still may be able to defeat Ashnard. That's true. It's like a dream. I have to disagree. Oh, look, Soren is upset again. Who knew? What is it this time? If the Crimean army is not the crux of Dayan's defeat, this war means nothing. What does that have to do with the arrival of these reinforcements? The battalion that just arrived is greater in numbers than the one we originally received. Not only that, but all of these soldiers are marching under Benyon's name. So, if these reinforcements are responsible for defeating King Dayan, what do you think will happen? That achievement, that very victory itself, will belong to the Benyon Empire and not to Crimea. If that happens, Crimea will be rebuilt however Benyon sees fit, and Princess Alicia will be a mere figurehead. And then the deeds of an unknown mercenary company will be expertly covered up. We'll receive some paltry sum of money and be swept under the rug somewhere. Mark my words. Soren, you're being so rude. Surely the Apostle of all people would never do such a thing. And this General Zelgius seems sincere enough to me. Come, Soren, I have heard of situations like this, like that which you describe, but whether this is such a case, we've been fortunate to receive this goodwill. Must we always search for such ulterior motives? Yes, we must. Have you forgotten Nazir? It's that sort of naive attitude that allowed him to remain undetected for so long. You people don't seem to get it. We are at war. All doubts, no matter how small, must be extinguished. If they aren't, we could be well ignoring something that will lead to our defeat or to our death. Let's take Soren's commands under consideration and discuss this at length. We meet in 1 hour. Ike, I'd like to report the results of our last battle. Still plenty of money to go around. Combat experience. Yeah, I figured I would have had a lot of combat experience from this one. There were no deaths and no injuries beyond our capabilities to heal. Everyone performed exceedingly well. That is all. By your leave, I would excuse myself. Alright, let's see what we have here. Gatry and Astrid, level B. Okay, that's correct. Gatry, I'm here for my lesson. Are you ready? Of course, of course. Alright then, let's begin. I'm eagerly awaiting your first instruction. Every soldier has a role, and it's important that everyone does what everyone is best at. With the right strategy, 3 soldiers can fight with the strength of 10. I see, so everyone must fight to their strength. Alright, I got it. My job as a knight is to bravely step up and shield my allies from vicious, marauding attackers. I'm like an armored wall. Then the others can launch an attack from behind my impenetrable frame. Archers wait safely behind me and strike from a distance, while mounted units can ride in and crush the enemy. Well, that's what I hear. I mean, that's pretty much how it all goes down in the heat of combat. I see, but don't worry, you can stay safely behind me. It's far too dangerous for you to venture away from me. Stay close. Yes, very close. Go on, don't be shy. Alright, I'll stay close. Oh, may I ask you just one more question? Ask anything. Since I'm on horseback and you're on foot, won't we move at different speeds? What should I do? In that case, yeah, I can't remember what Titania said. Pardon me? Oh, nothing at all. Ha, just talking to myself. We'll get into that in your next lesson. Right, of course. I sure learned a lot today. You'll coach me again, won't you? Thank you, Gatry. Goodbye. She wants me to teach her again. I knew she was crazy about me. And why not? These muscles are breathtaking. I can't wait to see her again. Sure. Right. Kira and Oscar, no. Riss and Titania, no. Oscar and Kira, no. Okay, then that's everything. Hey, Ike, General Ike, wait up. Say if there's an enemy in my way, but I don't want to kill him, what do you think I should do? Is this about that stupid game again? Well, it's all your fault. You had to go and tutor Daniel. And now, I've been on this losing streak. Tutor? You mean back when we were on board the ship? It was just one hint. Daniel isn't like me, he's smart. I'm the one who thought up this game, but he's the one who's getting better and better. I hardly ever win anymore. Instead of playing that game, why don't you try some real combat? Stop joking around. We're happy-go-lucky traveling merchants. We don't know anything about fighting. Give me a break. It's nice you're having fun and all, but please, can you save your stupid game for someone who's not fighting for their life day in and day out? Well, what do you expect? Everything is war, 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 and there's no place for us. All we can do is play this game. Sorry, I'll just go lose again. Oh, for heaven's sake. Look, if there's an opponent you don't want to kill, just shove him out of the way. Then you don't have to fight him. Huh. Oh, thanks. You know, we are what we are, but we'll be with you till the end. I hope we can continue to be of service, alright? Yeah, thanks. Sorry for being so irritable. That's alright, I know how much stress you've been under. Soth. Something on your mind? Oh, Commander Ike. Oops, I guess I'm supposed to call you General now, huh? Commander's fine. So what's going on? Are you thinking about that person you were looking for? That's all settled. Actually, no, it's not really settled. It's just, I figured that worrying about it all the time wasn't doing me any good. I turned over every rock in Banyan during my search, but it's just easier to assume that everything's going well somewhere. Well, as long as you're happy, I won't say a word, so what were you thinking about then? I didn't say anything before, but Diane is my homeland. Is that so? Yeah, until a few years back I lived in the slums of Navassa and stole for a living. So anyway, I went back to my old stomping grounds and saw some friends. The rest of the city is empty, but they're still here. They've got no other place to go, you know? And what did they have to say? Everyone was mad that Crimea had won. They said if the king had been here, there's no way that they would have been defeated. It's so weird. Until now, all they had ever done was complain about this place. I see. You know, Ashnard wasn't such a bad king, at least as far as we could see. If you were strong enough, you could rise up and become a knight one day. You could escape the filthy slums. He was the only king who ever gave us that chance, that hope. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind fighting with all of you. But still, seeing your homeland scarred and trampled like this is tough. I'm sorry. I know Crimea is suffering in the same way, but I can't change how I feel. Okay. Trade with Tormod. Get your health thunder back. Trade that with, where is he? Is he Ark? Yeah, give it to Volk, I guess, the Stiletto. He's better off with it. Come on. Okay. So you're going to lead a small unit out on a survey mission? Yes, that's the plan. However, though we've taken the castle, there are still pockets of Dayan resistance. It's possible they may try to mount an attack and retake the palace. I want you to be in charge of the watch. That is, of course, not a problem. However, you're taking the princess along. Don't you think it would be safer to take more troops? Even if we split our battalion, we have enough men to handle both tasks. I'm just not used to moving around with such a large group. And for this mission, I'd like to keep the number of people involved as low as possible. It's not that I don't understand how you feel, but we will compromise. You know, for someone from Benyon, you're pretty flexible. It speeds things up considerably. To be a soldier, one must be able to quickly adapt to circumstances around him. Alright, we'll be back later. Take care. Knowing what I think I know about him, I don't trust the guy. This is the place Nazir mentioned, Palmini Temple. I hope whatever he was trying to tell me will become clear once we get inside and look around. I still can't believe Nazir was on Dayan's side. I just can't. And he let that dragon girl get away, although I'm sure he had reasons for that as well. I wonder, was it really Nazir? Although besides my family, the only people I showed the medallion to were Titania, Princess Alincia, and Nazir. I thought I could trust him, I really did. Why? Why did he do it? Missed. Thinking about the past isn't going to help. Let's take a look at this temple. What did you say? The Crimean army is here? They want to investigate the temple. What should I tell them? Crap, this ain't good. I don't know what they're after, but if they find us mercenaries who sided with Dayan, they'll wipe us out. It is all the will of the goddess. Resign yourself to your fate. Accept it. Bat dung. No one's gonna roll over and die. Dying's for sissies. So tell me, how many are there? There appears to be 10 or so, including the women. Gah ha ha ha. That's good news. It is? If that's a lot of them, we can take care of this on our own. It'll be like stealing a baby from the cradle. Right then, here's the plan. Pretend like you want to help them. Then lead them inside. And listen good, you'd best not whisper a word about us being here, or else... It's like... But I couldn't. What you ask is beyond me. Don't forget, we've got all the other priests under our control. Unless you want him to meet the goddess early, do as you're told. Oh dear. Lots of chests again. Tanith and Marcia have been spending 2 chapters together, so I should write that down. Marcia and Kieran spent that last chapter together as well. So they should be very close to having achieved their topmost level of support, I guess. Alright, we'd like to take a look around. Please show us each room. Very well. This is a very large room. Are you alright? Why are you shaking like that? Oh, goddess, please forgive me. It's a trap. Gar-ha-ha-ha-ha-ha! You did it. Please forgive me. I thought something like this might happen. I don't know how you got wind of us, but showing up in such a small group means you're out of luck. None of you are getting out of here alive. We've just fought our way to the Dayan capital. You're not even going to slow us down. Cocky, ain't ya? But who said this was gonna be a fair fight? Eh? What are you doing? Hey, bring out the others. You fools are gonna be our shields. What? Gahar! Gahar! See, you ain't so useless after all. You filthy dogs, those are innocent people, you can't. Oh, mercy, please help me. Hey, if you don't want them pretty robes of yours to turn red, you'll attack these scum. If you even think about betraying us, I'll kill every one of you. But you can't. Trimians, please forgive us. We cannot allow our brothers to die. This cowardice will not stand. These priests are being made to fight against their will. We've got to try and save as many of them as possible. Let's go. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. Anyway, I'll worry about selecting the right units tomorrow. Or off stream anyway. So I have everything ready for the next stream, which will be tomorrow night. I'll stop for tonight. Take it easy, people. Take care. Have a good rest of the night. And see you next time. Bye-bye. Oh, yeah. Actually, there was a raid an hour ago, and I only know this now. Ouch. I feel bad now. I'm sorry. I should have said thank you at the very least. Well, sorry about that. I was so much into the game that I didn't pay attention. Anyway, see you next time, people.